Hey folks, KILT-MAN here, KILT-MAN at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. And welcome to a rather belated magazine edition on the Kilty channel. The date is, let me just check. It's the 16th of May, 2023. The magazine edition is where we talk about things that have happened, things that are happening, and things that may yet happen. And right now, it ain't just me here. We have a guest. Over there, we have the biggest bumblebee I've ever seen. Now, he's the size of one of those friggin' Russian helicopters in Rambo Part 2 and Rambo 3. He is huge, with a great big stinger, you know. Love bees, never gonna harm a bee. And the weird thing is, you know, the magazine edition, I have a little list of things we're gonna talk about. Just bits, little notes. Talk about this, talk about that. There is 2B segments. 2B or not 2B? Well, now it's 3B because we've got that bugger over there. You can hear him. Now, he's been there for about an hour and he's big. But the thing about bees, everyone says, if you're what are the entomologists who, you know, study insects and things, they're very intelligent. Of course they are, yeah. They're really super intelligent. Well, this dickhead came in through the bloody back door there. And then he's now been trying to get through the window, banging his stupid fairy bombs. Boof, boof, boof. All his pollen collectors are all mashed to bits now. You know, boof, boof, boof against the glass. I've pulled the curtain back. I've used the spear from Gladiator to wedge it open. Why did you just go back out the way you came in? You know, You can hear him, can't you? The thing is, he is really super big. And, you know, the bumblebees sort of, they hover and they sort of bounce around the area in front of you and you kind of, whoa, because, I mean, they're kind of cute and fairy. I'm not saying I want to sit there and stroke the buggers, but, you know, but I'm never going to harm a bee. Without bees, we can't be. There you go. And of course, bees are meant to be in a decline. As Bill Oddie said, you've got to protect the bees because they're in decline. Last few years, apparently. Well, he says, waggling his finger, I don't think that's the case. Not round here. Not because of him, but we'll come on to that in a minute. But me and Mrs. KILT-MAN, when it gets really hot, the bees hit the deck, and they're like, and you see them on the deck, you see them on, you know, paths and trails in the woods, and they're like, and like, so we now carry, well, Mrs. KILT-MAN carries it, because I just carry knives and bow and arrow, you know. I'm not carrying a little pipette of sugared water. You can put that in a little clutch bag, as they call it, little clutch bag. So she has a little pipette of sugared water. And we have, actually quite a good few times now, encountered a poor, dehydrated, dilapidated bee on the deck. And you just put a little blip, 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 little drops of sugared water. And he staggers over there. And then, whoa, that off, Jesus. Not a word of thanks. He just buzz off. But he's been here, as I say, for about an hour. And I don't want to sort of shoo him out because you don't want him to think you're acting aggressively towards him. Because then they go on the aggression. And with that great big bloody stinger that he's got there. Ooh. And you know me and insects, that spider bite I got, what was it, a couple of years ago? Holy shit. I'm not going through any kind of, I've never been stung by a bee. Or a wasp for that matter. But I've been bitten by mosquitoes a gazillion times, and I've been bitten by a bloody spider, and that was bad enough. So I don't want to find myself live on this, well, live and perhaps dying of anaphylactic shock. You know, that'd be great. But for posterity, I'd make sure it was uploaded. So you'd see my final glorious last stand, defeated by a bee. Cheers, y'all. I hope they're not attracted to whiskey. I'm not too sure, they might be, you know. The midgets in Scotland are. And those buggers, they don't just sting you. They take a bite out of you. They take a souvenir. They don't just take blood from you. They take an ounce of flesh. They leave a huge crater. And they'll follow you back to wherever you might be staying. You know, if you're touring there, they'll go back, they'll travel. They've proved it. They'll travel miles and miles to get the same person again. What is that? Christ, that's determination. That's a stalker. That's Michael Myers going after Laurie Strode after 40 bloody years. But yeah, this guy over there, over yonder, where he is, you'll hear him, and you might even see him. As I said before, he was actually on one of the Rambo canvases up there, the First Blood one, and I thought, oh, that'd be a great picture. So I was trying to get a picture, but then he came at me, didn't he? Oh, I was like, oh God. So I never got the shot, you know. But it would have been great, and it would have looked huge against Stallone's bicep. So he wandered into the spider web that's in the corner of that window over there. The window you can just about see brightening up that end of the frame. And he wandered into that, and I thought, oh no. But then again, he's so big, that spider just went, ooh. I'm not here. I'm not in. Here, I didn't make this web. Someone else did. Yeah, I'll snip those strands so you can get away. Because he is that big and threatening. No spider in his right mind's going to go near that. Anyway, he got out of it. Because clearly he's built like, he's the Stallone of the bee world. Stallone was an ant, wasn't he? An ant, yeah. But this is from the bee world. And he managed to march his way out of the web and crawl up the window frame. I got out of it, just shook it off like that. So yeah, great, super strong, but super dumb. Because as I said before, you're banging your head against, it's quite clearly, can't you get it through your thick, fairy skull that you can't get out that way, but you can get back out the way you came in. You must be able to smell the fresh air or see. You've got eyes, you can see. Go away, mate, go away. No. But bees. Just because I actually wrote down bee swarms in the cemetery. For the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, we've had tombstones absolutely bedecked in a blanket of bees. And around here, like in many, many places, on Tinternet and Facebook and all that, you have, because I live in Wallasey, you've got a thing called Wallasey Gossip, where everyone, it is a load of shite, honestly. It's actually where KILT-MAN first came to fame, because many years ago, walking down through Liscard in me kilt, no top on, glorious summer's day with the husky on the lead. Everyone was papping me, and I'm not making this up, everyone was papping me. And when I got back, I wasn't on Facebook or social media at all. I shunned it, didn't understand it, that's why. And when I got back home, Mrs. KILT-MAN was going ballistic. She said, charming. Did the bee do that? God, this is a glorious painting that Florian Schaefer did for me of Snake Plissken. That's going to fall over again, I know it is, but let's just bear with it for the time being. It's a great bit of artwork. And I got back and she said, all the women in this card are taking pictures of it and they're putting up on Wallasey Gossip. What are you doing? I said, give me that, let me see. And yeah, there were tons of pictures of me and the dog. And they're all going, wow, look at this guy in the kilt. He's got that. And I was a bit more built and a bit less chubby of cheekage in those days. And Roxy was even sexier as well. And but we're older now. A bit more grey around the whiskers. And so I was like, wow, that's a good picture, that. So people, see, that's my husband now. I live with that. That's my fella. Florian, I do apologise. They're gonna have to put that back. I think it's the draft. It's the downdraft of that bloody yellow and black helicopter over there, which is really buzzing around like crazy right now. No worries. There's always something else to hand. Let's see you knock that over. That will go over. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, God. Right, should be alright. What's going on? Lately, I've had so many interruptions and spooky things happening with things falling over in the background. And there's a spook update as well. But anyway, back to KILT-MAN strutting around. I said, wow, I'm looking really good there. She goes, yeah, but look at the women. And other people chipped in, and all of a sudden the thread, or the many threads, had thousands of messages. Yeah, he gets to train with me. Oh, I know him from Liverpool. Oh, he's great, he's sound. Oh, he's the husky, isn't he? And this went on and on and on, and I got christened KILT-MAN. It's the KILT-MAN. So then, all of a sudden, I got asked to do charity work. So I did a lot of charity work as KILT-MAN. Just as this, this knobhead who walks around thinking he's uber cool in his kilt, bit of muscle and a couple of tattoos and a husky dog. Wow, I'm different than the rest of you. But suddenly I was doing charity runs, half marathons, trolley dashes. I was opening superstores, cutting the ribbons as KILT-MAN, handing those great big outlandish checks to little dance troops of 5-year-old girls. People are looking at me like that going, and everyone's taking pictures and I'm in the paper and all that. It's great. I was KILT-MAN. Well, that's how it started. How did we get onto that? I've got no idea how we got onto that now. Wallasey Gossip, this site on Facebook. So about 3 weeks ago, people were posting pictures of this tombstone, which was bedecked in bees. But they were kind of like, oh my God, look at all these bees, it's terrifying. But luckily people got on and said, leave them alone. Just behave yourself. They're not going to touch you. They don't want to touch you. They touch you, it's suicide for them. So don't just leave them, they'll move on. And anyway, I took a picture of it as well, which I posted to a few people that I know. And they're like, wow, isn't that amazing? And it was a blanket of bees. Beautiful. Noisy as well. But then what happened was they brought in the experts. Round here, there's a sort of bee conservation group, and they will go and collect, if a hive or a nest gets set up and you don't want it, they'll come and collect it. Just spray it, knock them out and take them and rehome them basically. And so that's what happened. So the next day, this hive, this nest, this swarm was removed. But then about 2 days later, it was back again, but on a different gravestone. Now, I walk the dog in that cemetery, as everyone knows. Many people walk their dogs in that cemetery, and many people visit graves in that cemetery. So again, these pictures were popping up all the time, and each time they got removed. Anyway, I was in there. This would be about a week ago, something like that. And the dog's doing their thing, sniffing out. Lovely sunny day as well. And this American girl just come round the path, and she went, well, I won't do the accent. She's like, hey man, I'm digging that kilt now. She just said like, oh wow, I love the kilt. So I was like, yeah, I'm the KILT-MAN. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel. Blah 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 blah. And we conversed for a while. And I thought, where's that dog gone? Oh, it's over there. It's all right. And then we said our goodbyes, and she went, oh, by the way, there's a great big swarm of bees on a gravestone over there. And I went, I thought that had gone? Wow, they're back again. So I walked up this path and I went towards the water tap where Roxy normally has a little drink from the tap. It's good water. In years gone by with our previous dog, the water was really, really vile and would make dogs ill. So, but now the water's very, very clean, very fresh, so it's okay. And before anyone goes, you shouldn't be giving them water from bloody taps in cemeteries. It's corpse water. It's runoff from the coffins and the graves. Maybe that's why the dog likes it so much. Bit more meat in it, like a bit more flavour. And I thought, where's the dog gone? Doggone it! I turned around and I saw like the dog on her back between two tombstones, and she's wriggling around, and I just thought, oh God, no, she's found that swarm, and she was on her back and she was covered in bees. And I don't wear a great deal, and I thought, well, straight away leapt in, grabbed the harness, dragged it away. Bees were everywhere, but this is the thing. She's very fairy, I know, but she was lying there on her back, wriggling around with a big bee massage, and she was licking in the air, licking the bees. They could have stung her on the tongue, they could have stung her in the eyes. They probably couldn't have got through the fair. But then again, if all of them made a concerted effort, they'd have killed her. And because there's thousands and thousands of them. And so I just got her away. But she wanted to go back because she clearly enjoyed it. And the bees weren't stinging her, or didn't appear to be. They seemed to be quite happy that she was there. So they're all having a great time, it was a bee husky rave taking place. But it was a scary sight to see me dog covered in these things and clearly enjoying it and wriggling around in like big husky fairy ecstasy. So anyway, but they're back again. I mean that'll be about just over a week ago, something like that. But they're back again. Yesterday they were in there again, and they're in like a hedge. But each time they get seen, they send out these guys. They look like someone out of the Andromeda strain. They've got the big suits on, like hazmat suits, and they just knock them out and move them on. But clearly, there is a nest, probably in the trees, and they're obviously looking for another location. So they keep moving around, and whatever gets removed from these tombstones or in the bushes, that's only just a scouting party. So they're all there now, but they're not bumblebees like this guy here. They're the smaller ones, but because this guy's huge, as I say, so he might make an appearance buzzing around in the background. And if you suddenly hear me yelp, oh God, that means I've sat on him or something. Like, oh God. But anyway, so bees. Oh, and there's another thing about bees at the moment. They're looking to patent this thing for gas masks and chemical filters for suits and masks. And they're using Manuka honey. Manuka honey, you say? Isn't that liquid gold from Scarlett Johansson and Charlize Theron and who's that other one? Gwyneth Paltrow. Who swear by it. It does everything. It takes years off you. It can make the blind see again. It can grow legs on a double amputee. It can do anything. It's also very expensive as well. And you get it from New Zealand and Australia on the Manuka trees, which the bees will feast upon. And their honey, the Manuka honey, they've now found, because honey has got a lot of sort of anti-inflammatory, antibiotic properties. It's really, really good for you. And I don't like it. I don't like honey at all. And I really wish that I did, because, its health benefits are extraordinary. So he's buzzing around. You're going to see him. Oh dear God. You could not see him, the size of him. See, I've mentioned his favourite thing, Manuka. He's like, Manuka, where be the Manuka? Zzz, give me Manuka now. Take a fucking bazooka to take this guy out anyway. Can you hear him? It sounds like someone chainsawing a tree down. The way out's there, mate. I've shown you. God. But yeah, so they're going to use Manuka. They discovered that there's, Macrobrachianasin abessum. I made that up. This horrible strain which gives you like tuberculosis and other horrible, nasty illnesses and diseases. And that bug itself is one of the root causes of it. But Manuka, if applied to they've worked out they can put it into the filter of a gas mask, which will not only filter out toxins and sort of gas attack chemicals, but also bugs like this. If they attach it to like a tissue on the grill, the filter, then it's absorptive and it will take out the bugs that are coming in. So they're trying to patent it now. So again, the bees, because we can't just scrape it off the Manuka trees ourselves. You've got to get it from the Manuka honey that the bees make, because it's their properties as well that help give it this supernatural ability to defend human beings from all sorts of nastiness. Bees, gotta look after them. Do you hear that? I'm singing your praises. Christ. I'll get stung on the nose now, imagine that. Oh, fuck. Dear God. Rudolph. Cheers, y'all. Cheers. So that's bees covered. But yeah, I mean, they're in the cemetery and he's not one of them. But imagine if because we've got a lot of trees, our back garden goes on a fair bit and we've got a little other extra bit before we hit the cemetery wall. And that's all covered in trees. We have bats in there as well. We have bloody bats and magpies. The Escape from New York birds are there all the time. Jesus, it's honestly, it's like you're on safari every time you open that back door. It's just the world. It's like they're all jammed up behind it, because the minute you open the back dog out in the morning, 1,000 bugs come in. Hey, come in, we're waiting all night. Fucking hell, isn't it better for you out there? You know. Anyway, so we got loads of trees, so they could actually, in all theory, the nest could be in the remains of our shed. The shed that I destroyed with all the arrows from my longbow, my English longbow, which you've seen. You saw me practicing. But I've got nothing to shoot at now because I've destroyed everything out there with these bloody arrows. Again, like Rambo, I was using explosive tipped arrows. But, turn down a bit. So just thinking, you open the door and literally the swarm comes in, like, oh, wouldn't be good. But look after bees and they'll look after you. Do you hear that? What else do we have? Oh, okay. Well, in the world of entertainment, if you're in the UK, you would not have escaped. First of all, Eurovision, which dominated all of last week. Because Liverpool, oh my God, Liverpool, which is just literally, it's about 2.5 miles away, and almost 2 miles of that is the Mersey River itself. But I can run down to the Mersey River in about, 45 seconds from here, and then swim across, and I'm in Liverpool. That's how close Liverpool is to us, and that's how close Eurovision was as well. Because Eurovision was held at the arena in Liverpool, right at the front, and they had Eurovision Village, which was at the pier head and the waterfront there, with gazillion thousands of people had turned up and descended and booked up every single hotel since the start of the year, basically. You could not get a hotel room for love nor money. And so it was crazy chaotic last week. I managed to miss pretty much all of it, even though I was in town on the Thursday night for my own little Eurovision party. Now, I missed it all. Sweden won, apparently. Now, on the Saturday night, which was the final, I was in several boozers around here, and when I was in the cask, my wife came in, and she looked amazing. Looked $1,000,000. Normally she looks more than that, but she was dressing down for the occasion, I think. And she came in, and I was like, "Is this for me? Wow. Okay, I will come home early then." And she went, No. I've just been invited to a big Eurovision party." I said, "You what? Where?" She said, "Oh, down the front at the Floral. There's all big wigs there and local celebrities are there, but I've been invited to it. We're watching a live stream of all the final, and there's loads of drinks and parties and music and revelry." And I went, "Great, I'll just finish." She goes, No. She goes, "I got invited, you didn't." I said, "But I am a local celebrity, for God's sake." She goes, No, it's for me. I've got other friends there who I'm going to meet up with, but this was a last minute thing. So, bye, don't wait up, darling. So, I stayed out a lot longer, fuming. No, that was made up for it. She goes to a lot more do's than I do. Honestly, I used to go to a lot of these things, these swanky things with her. Because in various jobs that she's had, she's been like an ambassador, she's been a PR sort of consultant, she's done promotion work for a lot of different companies, and she's really good at it as well. But so I've tagged along to a lot of these things, and they've been good. But you're brushing shoulders with, I don't know, there's a certain type of person who wants to be seen, and has got to be seen with certain people, and little networks are set up, and I can't fucking be arsed with that shit. And she has to put on a face, and she hates it all as well. She hates all this crap that goes alongside it all. But she's really good at masking that. So she goes to these things, and she had a fucking wonderful time. I haven't really got the full story out of it because I've barely seen her since, to be honest. And but because she got home, there's a switch. By the time she got home, I was completely zonked out in bed. Husky was beside me. I only woke up when she dragged the dog away because that's my side of the bed, And she got in, and that was it. But she had a great time apparently. I had an okay time. But again, going with the entertainment and keeping, a straight face on things. Again, in the UK, you'll know about this. The magazine show, not this one, but on ITV1 every weekday this morning. Holly Willoughby, Holly Willoughby, and Philip Schofield. Yeah. Now, I wouldn't mention this, but the thing is, I'm strangely intrigued by this. Right, they've been going as a double act. They do Dancing on Ice as well. They host that, and they've hosted other things as well. And they've won numerous fucking telly awards and whatever. And they're always there together. And he's the silver fox, and she's the amazing. And they've been together since I don't know. I could be wrong on this. Is it 2005 they got together as a hosting duo on This Morning? Well, and they've been together ever since, and they became very, very popular as a double act. Oh, not anymore. They did some queue jumping when the Queen, the late Queen Elizabeth, was lying in state. They did some queue jumping there, which caused quite a lot of uproar, and they dropped down the popularity stakes quite a bit. And but ever since then, you've had, well, there's been stuff about Philip Schofield. I am not going to start doing all the things that they're saying about him, because there's some really, really nasty things. And I'm not inclined to disbelieve them, to be honest with you. That sounds awful, but I've been watching and I've been seeing and I've gleaned things. If you look at people and, when people they're masking things and they've got a lot of the stuff about him, I'm not going to go into the seedy stuff. I'm not going to go into that has been liberally reported, and the accusations which are flying around. But the mainstream stuff, and I always say don't look at mainstream, but I'm going to stick with that because you don't want to get on shaky ground with any of this. It's only hearsay, most of it. But a lot of other TV stars, TV personalities who've been on This Morning, been presenters, been hosts, despise him. And that's fact, because they bloody said it. He's obnoxious, he's horrible, he's a big egotist. He will, if he doesn't like you, he will get you out of the business, he will get you off shows, you won't get certain jobs because he will not allow it. So he's on a massive, massive power trip. And the thing is, I don't disbelieve any of that side of things. Now, they were off for a while, and must have been Easter time, maybe just before Easter time. And his brother, Philip Schofield's brother, got done with charged with 13 counts of, sexual abuse of a minor. Not someone who digs underground, but a little person. Yeah, pedo stuff. That's not good. That's not good. Now, I knew nothing about that until he came back, and only when he came back and he said, oh, by the way, I want to just thank everyone for their support. It's been very touching for me and the family. And I thought, well, what the hell's happened? So, obviously, I did some research. Oh, that's what's happened. And then things began the spark between the two, he and Holly, didn't seem to be there. She seemed to be distancing herself from him, literally physically on the couch, and little sideways glances at him all the time, which you could pick up on, you notice them. And this seemed to get a bit worse. And then she went off with what they said was shingles. Now, I don't know if you know this, but because it hasn't been reported on properly, that one of the offshoots of COVID, oh God, and the vaccinations is that there's a huge uptick in people with shingles. Shingles is the chickenpox virus, but when you're older, you get it as shingles, and shingles manifests itself as a fucking horrible, your nerve endings blister, and usually on one side of your body. My dad, Big Kilt Papa, had it when I was only young, but he had it down one side of his head and his shoulders, and back in that, this would be the sort of 70s, you had to, again, that pipette, that we were sugared water for the bees, but you had this ointment which you had to put onto every little blemish and mark and little blister, and it would just reduce them gradually, and it went. But shingles in an older person can kill you. Now, they reported that, Holly's not here because she's got shingles. Oh, and Philip was going like, we send all our regards, all the cast, all the crew, sending their regards. Get well soon, Holly. And then she came back, not a mark on her, nothing. And I thought, you were using that, weren't you? That was an excuse. You just didn't want to be with him, and you wanted you, because now it's all coming out that she wants her contract rearranged. His contract is up in September. Oh God, for KILT-MAN, you said you didn't care about any of this. You know everything about it. It doesn't take much to learn any of this, to be honest. And his contract's up in September and might not get renewed. That's what all the hearsay is, that they're going to drop him. But all over the weekend just gone, all over the weekend, all the headlines, apart from Eurovision and bee swarms, but about the rift between Holly and Phil. They were close friends, they had dinner together. When Phil came out of the closet, he confessed it to her, and then they did a special TV thing on This Morning where he confessed it. It was all emotional and all that, like, and the nation got behind him. Let me think about that phrase. Well, it's out there now. And ever since then, other rumours have come up about them sort of splitting up, that they're not as close as they once were, that Nana's a really serious rift. She's cut all social media ties to him. He's off their little WhatsApp group, for example. And off her profile on other platforms, she's removed a friend of Philip Schofield. She's removed him completely. And so that was all over the headlines, apart from Eurovision, all over the weekend. Now, on Monday morning, even my daughter, who doesn't give a flying fuck about things like this, because she's revising for a big exam. Well, in fact, she's doing her big exams right now as I speak. And I've barely seen my daughter for the last few months because she's got her head down and she's completely revising. And she's really taking it seriously. Good for her, but can my daughter come back once in a while? But she come down Sunday morning and she went, this is after the Eurovision, and Mrs. KILT-MAN was still completely done in. I wonder why. I hope it was just drink and maybe one too many truffles. But I was downstairs and my daughter was going like, oh my God, have you seen the likes of Holly and Phil? And I went, well, what, this rift? And she went, yeah, it's worse. And she'd be reading all the really bad stuff, which might not be true. So let's just leave it at that. And I went, oh, well, it'll be interesting to see tomorrow if they actually do come on the programme together. And they did. So we're only this, so I saw a bit of it yesterday, or a lot of it yesterday, and I saw a fair bit of it this morning as well. And, it's fucking weird. It is weird. It's not because you're looking for it. You're looking for the fault lines in this relationship. Oh my God. You can, through the TV screen, the retina of the mind's eye, you can see that she doesn't want to be there. And not, well, or she might want to be there, but not with him. And there ain't no way of hiding it. It's almost like, but all the press that are on their side were saying they put on a brave face despite all the rumours and everything that goes on. All this bullshit that's going on. They put a brave face on and they presented the show perfectly, with the same wit and spontaneity and chemistry as ever. No, absolutely not. You can tell he's nervous. He keeps missing timings when they're interviewing other people, and they do a segment on there. They open the show with a segment which is doing current news. So they have different journalists that are on, like, and every day it's a different duo of journalists, and they discuss all the big news. The biggest news in the UK, apart from Eurovision, was Holly and Phil and this big rift, and he managed to completely avoid all that. But you can see that Holly was really, really like anxious and nervous and like sort of little side. Whenever you make a joke and he'd look at it like that, the way he used to always do, and they had a little titter together. She's like that. Oh, it's great. But part of me starts thinking, hang on one moment. You can't believe a damn thing on the TV screen. Having been on TV myself in the disastrous Channel 4 show, Zero to Hero, where we filmed, I've talked about it before, I'll just do this there quickly, where I had to become a superhero to perform a certain challenge, with my two mates who are my teammates, and we construct. Although we didn't construct the fucking thing, the engineers on the show do it all. But they make it. See, again, the magic of TV. They make it look like reconstructed stuff: a suit, a costume, tools for the job of rescuing the inhabitants of a cable car who were held above a lava pit. Oh, it looked great, but I didn't do a damn thing. Literally didn't do a damn thing. But we filmed for like 3 days, 1 month, and then had to go back for the final part of the actual, what would be an hour-long show. But it took literally 5 days to film it. So 3 days, 1 month, and then go back the following month. But there was a moment where I ran in, and I was in a little tight fucking t-shirt, and I was like I was super lean, but kind of, again, posy ass. And I ran into a spike of metal, which hit the bicep there. Oh, fuck! Literally impaled. Ugh, get it off, like. So in the first segment of the show, you could see, so the first 3 days of filming, I've got this cut on my arm. So when we went, of course, it healed up, but when we went back the following month to film what would have been the finale of that episode, but it's actually a month later, they had to put a fake cut on my arm to keep the continuity going. There's also, when you watch the show back, you'll see me running into a room with the finished design of my superhero costume, which it was a Marvel artist that did it. I forgot his name now. That sketched it all. I mean, and I was the Crimson Wolf. Yeah, and like you see me running with this finished design image to the room where my buddies are, and I go, look at this. Be excited, be really excited. And I'm going, yeah. I was like, I'm not fucking wearing that. I fucking ended up wearing it. I've actually got the costume because they gave it to me. Jesus, they didn't want to keep it. Christ almighty. And I ran in with this. But when you watch it, I actually ran about several different floors of the warehouse studio where they film it. But when you watch it on the show itself, I just run from him, open the door, and there's the buddies. The magic and smoke and mirrors of TV. But what I'm saying to you is to put a brave face on and to act like nothing's happening when something is happening, but to act it like you're putting a brave... This is what I'm saying. If it's not true, then Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield are incredibly good actors, and I don't think that they are. So I think it's real. To act like you are trying to put on a brave face and yet still hate someone, and yet it's all fake to draw in viewers, because that's what I was going to say. ITV1 would thought, this is a great idea. Oh, don't do this now. That was Laurent Bouzereau, who's the biographer of Lucasfilm and many other movies. Where are we going with that? You interrupted me there. You're worse than the bloody bee. Call you Laurent Bouzereau in future. To act as though you're trying to, I've lost my thread there, haven't I, completely? ITV1 might be trying to draw in viewers because of all this. So sort of leapfrogging on it, like, oh God, let's get on the bandwagon here. People are going to, like, I was glued to it. So if I was bothered enough, then millions more are going to sit and watch it as well. Oh, I've heard about this. Let's see how they get on. Let's see if she storms off. Let's see if she bursts into tears or slaps him in the face. That's what you want to see. But you could see fractures and like he was mistiming cues, which is not like him. Normally he butts in, but now he was actually waiting to, and people were talking over him, so they weren't giving him a chance. So there's another big giveaway. And also, like, you can see she's not that good an actress to pretend that she's nervous, but I'm acting that we're putting a brave face on things when I'm showing you that I'm also a bit concerned. They're not that good. That's acting within acting within acting. They're not that fucking good at all. So that's been interesting. But that sort of story could really blow up. He gets sacked, gets dropped. Maybe they both do. They've got other people that do that job just as well. Dermot and Alison Hammond is fantastic. They've got other people. Rochelle Humes is great as well. So they don't even need these two, is what I'm saying. But this could all be a storm in a teacup, and it could just be extinguished, gone, and everything's great, and everyone forgets about it. or it could be complete ruckus stuff. Well, I wasted a hell of a lot of time there on Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby. I'd waste a lot of time on Holly Willoughby. God, make sure of that. I'm playing a massively mixed up playlist of the first 4 Indiana Jones movies, all scored by John Williams, of course. And that's because I just rewatched the trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and which comes out June 30th, not too far off, and I'm looking forward to it. But I rewatched the trailer this morning, and oh man, you know, yeah, the CG, the de-aging, you got all that, and like, oh really, we can turn back to. And no, I have talked about this, but it's Indiana Jones again, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks big, it looks broad, so I'm looking forward to it. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I'm not too sure about. She's still a thing, a commodity, which she's great in Fleabag and other things, but suddenly, because you could script Dr. James Bond, now I'm in Hollywood now, so I'm going to be in Indiana Jones. I don't think you're that good, hon. I really don't think you're that good. So, but we'll see. But it's, you watch all this, and what's the song they're playing? They're playing a really inappropriate rock song in a ballad sort of form. I forgot the song is now. But then, in the last sort of final stretch of the trailer, it segues into a really elegant version of the Raiders theme, of Indy's theme, and it sustains the notes, and it has this stately. I've got literally goosebumps now talking about it, because it really hits that sweet spot, and you go, it's Indy, and they know what they're doing. It's really well done. They bring John Williams' main theme in, and it always brings a tear to your eye. You're thinking, yes, and it's perfect. I remember, so sort of like, you know, just tempering all the excitement and enthusiasm when The Force Awakens was coming out, and you had the trailer, and then suddenly you saw, again, Harrison Ford, Han Solo and Chewie. Oh, Chewie, we're home. And you saw the Millennium Falcon, and then I got shivers again, like, all the hairs have risen on my arms. And especially when you watch the audience reaction to that, oh my God. And suddenly you saw them too, and everyone just went, "Wah!" And God, it was euphoria. And then Force Awakens turned out to be shite, as well as everything else that followed after that. Just shite. And I'll hear nothing else about that. So I'm hoping that history does not repeat itself. That music comes in, yes, we're back, and then, it's actually shit. Oh God, no. I'm prepared for it then. Okay, so what else have we got? I've got a bit of Jaws stuff. This one goes out to our good friend Captain Ronnie. Now, I knew this already, but Captain Ron got onto us and said, do you know Quint means 5 in Latin? I said, yeah, I do know that. And basically you got quintuplets, 5 kids. I was going to do 5 twins then. That would be 10, wouldn't it? It's also a run of 5 in cars, you know. But Quint in a lot of things, it's quintessential to so many things. And but it means 5 or 5th in a run. And it's perfect for Quint. Now, you can't give Spielberg or Carl Gottlieb the benefit of the doubt on this one, because they didn't name Quint. But in the film Jaws, he's the 5th victim. You've got Chrissy Watkins, you've got Alex Kintner, you've got Ben Gardner, you've got estuary victim, Teddy Grossman, and then you've got Quint. He's the 5th victim, and Quint means 5. So he was fucking doomed to begin with. Now, I've done videos on this anyway about Quint knowing he's going to die, because he's got survivor guilt after surviving the USS Indianapolis sinking, and all the sharks taking his mates, and you know he's waiting for his number to come up. I've never been a life jacket again. I gave him Stallone's voice then. I don't know how that happened. And the lip dropped again, like. So he spends the rest of his life reenacting I should have died there. So I'm hunting sharks because out there's a shark with my name on it. So I'm gonna fulfill destiny. It's like Final Destination. You know, you can't escape your destiny. It's gonna come for you regardless. And I've always said this about Quint. Now people go, well, you know, in the book, isn't it different? And it is different in the book, but not that different. And Peter Benchley wrote the book, so that's why you can't say that Spielberg and Gottlieb actually came up with him being the fifth and made that connection. Peter Benchley may have made that connection, because in the book, the death order is Chrissy Watkins the same, Alex Kidner the same, Ben Gardner the same, but there's no... Jesus Christ! Did you see it? It was right here. In the book, Chrissy Watkins, Alex Kidner, Ben Gardner, there is no estuary victim. Another kid almost gets taken but doesn't get taken. So there's 3. But in the book, Hooper dies in the cage descent. Hooper's gone. So Hooper's the 4th, Quint's the 5th again. Quint, 5, the 5th. It's brilliant, isn't it? Brilliant. Yeah. Number 5 alive. Only not alive in my case. Bruce took me. And so isn't that great? Did Peter Benchley actually think of that? Because it seems too much of a coincidence, doesn't it? That he's the 5th victim in a cycle, in a run. I don't know. Very odd. Tying in with getting Manuka honey from New Zealand and Australia. Have you heard about the... apparently, you're going to be able to, from the UK, you're going to be able to fly to Australia in 2 hours. 2 hours? What are you doing? You're going to hitch on to Superman's, the end of his cape? No. They're doing it's basically a spacecraft. You're going to fly up into space, and as the air travels, you're going to go up into space and come down in Australia. It's going to take you an hour to go up, an hour to come down. You land in Australia. It's going to cost you £35,000 to do it. In fact, it might cost you more than that. But they reckon in about 10 years' time, that price will come down, and you and me could be able to do it. Be great. I could pop over to see Scrubby, our good friend down under. Or Rads. I can go call in on you, and we can actually go and observe some sharks, as you have done, sir. So, yeah. I'm surprised that these sort of things haven't happened sooner. You know, with all our back-engineered alien craft that we've got hidden away in hangars. For Christ's sake, you know, surely we can do it anyway. We've got bases on Mars. Speaking of space, there's renewed desire to put men back on the moon, and so there's about 10, maybe 15 missions lined up in the next couple of years. Most of them unmanned, but then sort of in about 5 year time, they won't put men back on the moon. We're already fucking there. You know, they're waving to us, going, knobheads, dickheads. You haven't got Eurovision up here, Christ, Or sharks. Or bees, for that matter. It's great up here. Have you got whiskey, though? Have you? Probably have. And there was... I've just gone off on a tangent here, but they just saw the biggest explosion ever since the Big Bang, and it's something like, 118 billion light years away, and they called it something. They called it Scary Barbie initially. All these science, they called it Scary Barbie, and it was the brightest flash in the celestial heavens. Brighter than any sort of supernova, brighter than any star. And the thing about it is, because it's happened a long time, this is the thing about you looking into deep space. Whatever you're seeing in deep space happened a hell of a long time ago, and for its light to hit us, for us to see it, it's taken all that time to get here. Mind blown. And but this, they've seen quasars, exploding stars, and which are different than supernova, and they are the brightest thing you're ever going to see, apparently. But they don't last long. They're over in a flash, basically. There's a bloody fly in here now. See, that's the problem. I opened the bloody curtain in the back door to let Mr. B go. But everything else has come in now. I'll be sitting here covered in fucking bugs in a minute. That's Jeff Goldblum. In fact, it's a wasp. Fuck me. I am going to die here on camera. The bee's up the top there. Look. Oh, he just fell off. He just fell off onto the cooker. Yeah, did you hear the clunk? That's how big he is. But there's a fucking wasp in here now as well. But anyway, quasars. But they don't last long. Flash gone. Flash bang wallop. Flash in the pan. And but this has gone on for months. So it's got more magnitude and power than anything they've ever encountered. It's a gazillion times bigger and more powerful than our sun. In fact, they said it's more powerful than our solar system. Not just the sun, but our entire system. And they said, well, one of the theories is that it is a star that's been sucked into a black hole. And this is the result. I want to see it. I want to find that. I stepped outside last night and it was a very, very star-filled canopy above me. And the plough, the constellation of the plough was directly overhead. And I don't think I've actually ever seen that before. It's always there, but it's just, you see it travel around the night sky. But it's always sort of lower down. I've never seen it directly overhead. I would have took a picture, but on this fucking camera, it looked like fucking shite. But anyway, so that's the stars and the heavens covered. Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield covered. Bees covered. Oh, well, yeah. Okay. I'm always getting asked about the spooks of the mansion. And mostly nothing's happening. We've been here since 1999, I think it was. And, we get phases where things happen. And if you're regular viewers, you know that the things happen when we start redecorating a room or moving furniture around or just changing the layout of a particular area of the house, doing something to the house. It's like the spooks just go, hang on, I was here first. I don't mind you doing it, but just to be polite, it'd be nice if you'd asked me first for my approval. So now, I'm going to, for 2 weeks, long less about 2 weeks, I'm going to stomp up and down the landing outside your bedroom. I'm going to hide your jumpers and your magazines. I'm going to spin the clock round on the wall. I'm going to flip the light switches off and on again all the time for you to really annoy you. I'm going to hide things and move things around. So, if you've seen some of the videos, we are currently in the process, very slowly, of doing, we've got a big attic and we've got a loft, but we're not touching the loft. The loft is sacrosanct. Mr. KILT-MAN likes the loft, and it's, in fact, you can go into it as well. It isn't just a cubbyhole, it's a proper big room and all that. But you'll never see it because she doesn't want that filmed. There's other rooms here which she never wants filmed. But I've got to be honest, that's fine. And obviously that's where all the whips and the chains are, and the clay wall with the electrodes, the Videodrome room. But I respect that. But the attic is, the loft is at this wing of the mansion, whereas the attic is sort of more the front, but it's a big, big room. But it's a fucking mess of a room as well. So we just lobbed loads of things in there. So we're finding great rare action figures and stuff, and like, wow, old books and magazines, and it's loads of like props and things. Great. Things that the fucking spook hidden, ages ago. We're finding them up there. No, the things that the spook takes, you don't get back. It's simple as. And so we've been moving stuff around. But we've been doing that for the last almost like 3 weeks, no more. I think we went up there about a month ago. So things have been happening, and I've reported on some of these things. Now, it seems to have upped its game or changed its tactics. I may have mentioned this actually in passing in a previous video, but I was standing right there, just there, and they'd come back with shopping, Mrs. KILT-MAN and my daughter, and got the bags down, and I was putting stuff away. Now, Mrs. KILT-MAN was not in the room, My daughter was not in the room. Well, my daughter was, but she was actually over there. And the dog was flitting about, but the dog could not have done this. But that elbow was grabbed by a hand. I felt the hand do it, like that. And really, like, fuck off. And I went, ah, Jesus. And of course I looked that way, and it was like, there's no one there. And I hadn't knocked my elbow against anything. And it wouldn't have felt like that if I had. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what the hell was that? And my daughter's over there, and I was like, the dog's flitting about down here, going through the bags, trying to find all the raw meat, you know. And I thought, someone just grabbed my elbow. My daughter's like, oh, the spook. And I went, well, yeah. And then we both sort of went, it's never done that before, has it? It's never actually touched any of us or grabbed any of us. It did frighten my daughter. Well, it frightened me more, actually. I'll go on for a tangent again, but you know what I'm like. My daughter come into our room. She's a lot younger, and a hell lot younger. And she woke us up. She went. The toys are talking to me, and the wife's going like, what? What do you mean? She goes, the toys are talking to me. She said, you've been dreaming, hon. You've just been dreaming. Don't worry. But you could see she wasn't like terrified. She wasn't white as a sheet. She was just like, no, my toys are talking to me. Why? Come see. So I went into her room, and her room actually overlooks the cemetery. It used to be the study where I used to write my books in that room. Perfectly, the atmosphere was there, and a lot of stuff has happened in that room actually, but not so much lately. But anyway, as a kid, she was like, the toys are talking to me. So I walked into the room and I looked around, put the lights on, obviously, you know. I can't hear nothing. And about to walk out, I said, it's fine, look, you've been dreaming. And then I heard to infinity and beyond. And I went, the fuck? That's it, hun. It's Buzz Lightyear. You've got all the Toy Story figures, and you've got the big Buzz Lightyear, which fucking speaks and says all things to infinity and beyond. And it said it again, but it has like a thing where it cycles through various things, you know. Well, I forget the other fucking comments. Mainly because all it said was to infinity and beyond. So I went, hang on, it's coming from there. I mean, there was a great big bag, where obviously she wasn't interested in Toy Story anymore, and it was all the toys were lashed in there. You know, like fucking the dog, Sausage Dog, and all, and obviously Woody was in there. And like, I said, look, something's hit the button. That's all it is. It's hit the button. So I got it out, and I'm like, look, something's leaned on the button. It's done it. So I pressed the button. Fucking nothing happened. Oh, you bastard. Make a liar out of me. Nothing happened. So now, look, I'm trying to prove it to her that it's the button that's making it do it. Took the battery, I had to go and get the battery casing off. What? No batteries in it. You can make up your own minds. Oh, bullshit, KILT-MAN. The thing is, I know it's not bullshit. My daughter knows it's not bullshit, and we do often speak about this, but kind of like just laugh it off because we're used to it all. When it kicks off, we're kind of used to it. But I thought, there's no batteries in it. How can it make any fucking noises at all? Oh God! And why would it? You start thinking, what if it? You know, if it is, I call it a spook because I don't know what else to call it. The phenomenon. It's spooky. So why would it choose to do that? Why would it arbitrarily? Oh, I'm through the spectral dimensional planes. I'm coming through. What can I meddle with? Oh, in that bag there's a Buzz Lightyear. What does he say again? How does it fucking know? I don't know. And that was kind of like, oh, right, we've been in this. Actually, I don't think we did bin it. We've still got all the Toy Story stuff, but and, you know, a lot of other things have happened as well. But to be grabbed by the elbow quite aggressively as well, that is a very definite new step. Now, there isn't just that. Just the other day, and again, because I'm always in. This is the kitchen, obviously, and you see me cooking with Kilty. Oh, there'll be more of those, by the way. I've got a few more recipes to come up with. Should be fun. One of which involves whiskey as well. Well, they all involve whiskey in some capacity. I was sitting here, and I've just played music or whatever, and I heard a massive sort of there. See that me doing that, like the hand grabbing, like sort of like something was running up inside the wall behind you there. I'll show you. That wall there, right? Now, and it went from low down, right up, and then that way. Now, oh, you've got a mouse. We've had mice before. No mouse did that. That was not a mouse. There was something in the wall, but it was not a mouse. And no, a mouse, because to be louder than the music that I was playing, that had to be quite loud and carry some weight and density to it. Well, it's a big rat then. You've got big bees, you've got big rats. What a rat. Anyway, I ran in. I went, because it made me jump. I said, Jesus Christ. So I went into the other room, the main movie room where Mrs. KILT-MAN was. And I said, I've just heard this massive big noise out there. And she went, oh, well, maybe it's another mouse then. I said, there's no way that was a mouse. I said, come on, just listen. But before we even left the room, my daughter again come down the stairs, and she's revising at the moment. She's just heavy into revision, you know, because she's going to become this world-leading scientist and dermatologist living in Australia. That's the plan. She'll do it. She'll do it. And she'll fly there within 2 hours. She'll be there. We can see her. We can see her every day, you know. And on that trans-global space jet thing, she come down the stairs and she went, something has just run up my wall. And I went to Mrs. KILT-MAN, I said, told you. I said, told you. I said, describe it. And she went, it was like something just went like up the wall like that. That's how I described it. I was like, I said, show me. So we went upstairs and I said, where did it seem to come from? Because well, it's behind us. In fact, where that is, this thing was going that up, diagonally upwards that way. And she heard it, which would only be literally seconds after I heard it. So it would have been up there. That's where her room is. It's up there. And she went, and it went across the wall down here, and then went up the wall and along, and sort of out towards the window. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Now, again, I'm not saying that's a ghost. That's a ghost. It could have been. Let's be honest. I don't think it's a mouse. I do not think it's a mouse. I do not think it's a rat. Could it be a bird that was trapped in there in the walls, the wall cavities, and was fluttering its way up and, well, obviously either banged its head on the way out and killed itself, or it got out? No, it's not. And there was a thing. Do you know? I've just scared myself now because I mentioned spiders and the bite and all that. There is the spider that Mrs. KILT-MAN said she heard scuttling about. She'd seen it and she heard it scuttling about in the papers. I did mention this a while ago, and I was like, "You heard it? You heard a spider scuttling about on paper? What was it wearing? Hobnail boots? How fucking big was this spider?" You know, oh god, that I thought, fuck no, that's a big fucking spider. That, you know. Now that kind of spider could perhaps take on that bee. The bee and the wasp teamed up and gone out. Are they vamoosed, do you think? No, I don't reckon. I reckon they're here to stay. Wasps don't serve no purpose. I'll kill the wasp, I will. No, don't leap on me. I'll kill the wasp. They're fucking useless, horrible things. Aggressive, nasty bastards. You get in, you know, you're outside, you're in the beer garden, and you've got your kids that got glasses of Coke and that, like, and like they're straight in there. Some idiot's been eating an ice cream sundae in the beer garden summertime, and they go ooh, because fucking wasps are gone like, there's always one swarm. You know, there's always someone that does that. If you're going to eat that, eat it inside, you know, because you're just attracting these bastards, and they can sting you, and sting you, and sting you again. A bee ain't gonna sting you because he knows it's suicide. It's a Tora kamikaze mission. If it stings you, it's killed itself. So you've really got to piss it off for it to take its own life. But wasps, no way. That doesn't look right to me. Let's just bring that down. There we go. I think that's right. Oh, and I think we can make it even better. I know it's a bit hazy. I think the lens needs cleaning, but it's also, the sun's coming through here. It's very, very sunny today. Very warm as well. Like, it's great. It's great. Hence, the vest is back out again. So I'll be a little Wallacey gossip now. Good. Oh, have you seen KILT-MAN these days? Always put on weight, hasn't he? That's what it'll be. Oh, that's because he spends all his time in the pub. He's finished work now, so he just drinks himself to death all the time. I've been doing that for fucking decades, you know, even when I was working. So, I think we pretty much covered everything. Peeve of the week. Insect. No. Folks, if you're still sticking with this, I wouldn't blame you if you bailed by now. I sit in the pub and I write my little notes on my phone on the little note thing. Or sometimes I get a beer mat and rip the beer mat off, you know, the illustration, and get a pen. Can I borrow a pen? And I start writing little notes down. You know, if I'm waiting for someone, or if I want to sit off on my own and not be disturbed. You know that I have talked about this, and I sit there with my earphones on. You know, you're sitting in a corner on your own with your earphones in and you're working away, and people come over like, "Hiya, KILT-MAN, hey, what's happening?" They sit down beside you and you're kind of like, "Can you not see? I'm kind of busy. Why couldn't you just like, you can't hear me, he's got his earphones in, just waved, caught my attention," and I'd have gone like that, and I'd have gone like, "Oh, if I want to speak to you, I'll take the earphones off." Or how are you at engaging conversation? No, they just fucking ram rage you, plonk themselves up. "Hiya, KILT-MAN, how are you doing? What's good? What are you writing there?" And you just go, you're like, "Fuck off." No, I'm too nice for that. I'm too nice for my own good. I let people get away with this shit, like, when I quite clearly want to be on my own. And I've told people this, you know, when I'm being sociable. So, the time of the night when I was like sitting over there, I just saluted you from a distance and never came over. It's because sometimes I've got notes to do, you know, for my YouTube channel, blah 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 blah. You know, I'm just doing some housekeeping on my phone. Fucking shite. I want to be able to listen to some music without any interruption. Mrs. KILT-MAN always goes, "Well, why'd you bother going to the pub if you want to? Why bother going out to a pub when you want to sit on your own?" Doesn't get it, does she? Doesn't get it. It's because you're like, well, there's alcohol there, but you might not want to be involved in it, but you like the hubbub. You know, you like activity around you. I don't work in an office anymore. I don't work with anybody anymore. So I like to have a bit of activity, even if I want to be sort of, you know, adrift from it, slightly askew looking on, but not involved in it. But most of the time I get involved in it. I'm a fucking prime instigator most of the time. But anyway, so I sit there and I write my notes on the little note thing on your phone about what I'm going to do for the magazine edition. And I wrote, you know, because every time I do a peeve of the week, and oh dear, I'm not going to name names, but well, I'll put it this way: I transcribed what I wrote on my phone onto this. Peeve of the week: women in leggings. Why would that be a peeve? Well, in some cases, women in leggings, girls, you know, not women in leggings, and a lot of them wear these grey leggings. I always think wearing skin tight grey material is a bad thing because grey shows up moisture, something chronic. You know what I'm talking about. But nowadays, it's just like they're just like sprayed on. So you've got women, and their asses are just. I do apologise. There could be some women out there sitting there in leggings right now. Most of you look fantastic. Most of you do. the jiggly bums and all that, like they've got a little thong on, you know. And like, don't pretend for one fucking moment that you don't know that men are gonna look, and some women are gonna look at your arse and your camel toe, because they're going to. You're basically drawing. Your eyes are drawn to movement, and you know, the opposite sex has elements which you're interested in. Hence why the human race fucking exists. Procreation. It's got to start somewhere, hasn't it? So you're going to look at these things. So they strut down on the trees. Their ass is going, oh, it could be doing that one, or it could be doing that one. Some of them go all over the fucking place. They're completely loose. Some of them spin round like a spinning top. Cheeky. And like, you know, the crotch area, there it is. Pure fucking camel toe. What are you trying to say to the world? Anyway, a lot of them, I don't mind. But what I saw the other night when I wrote my notes, I looked up and I thought, oh God, no. Peeve of the week, leggings on fat people. Seriously, why? Look, you know, some people are fat, some people are obese, some people can't help it, some people just seem to indulge too much. But this particular woman should not have been wearing leggings. She should have been wearing a tank. If she could fit her fucking girth into the turret of a tank in the first place. But a tank it should have been, because what came waddling in, it turned my stomach. It turned everybody's stomach. It fucking turned the sprinklers on, for Christ's sake. It was huge. And its legs were only about that fucking big anyway. That fucking long. It's all arse. It was just arse. Fucking big. And it swung low. Whoa, sweet chariot. It was like fucking going like that. And they were grey. And there was a smear down the back. Oh, you know, I sweat. Everyone sweats. See, I'm hedging my bets here that it was just sweat. But that was not a pretty sight. And, you know, and she was all kind of gasping and wheezing because the sheer effort of moving around was clearly, you know, causing her some, you know, duress. And, no, do not get me wrong. You know, I'm not condemning anyone's lifestyle. Just keep it to yourself. Don't fucking flaunt it. Hide it as wear one of those big sort of gown things that a lot of fatties wear. You know, like, oh, and they do the fashion parade on these magazine shows. I might start doing that here actually. And you know, for the larger lady, this really tucks in the waist and it brings down, you know, the bust. And it enhances all the good elements. Take it off the shoulder. Show off your shoulders even more because that dilutes the. You can tell I've watched too much fucking programs during the daytime, and but she didn't do that. No, what she wore accentuated all the grotesquerie of her body, and we all saw the grotesquerie of her body, and it were not pretty at all. And the thing is, she made a real big effort with her face as well. Lots of makeup and then big fucking stupid bloody, you know, eyelashes things about 10 yards off her head. You know, I'm very, well, I'm not going to say, I don't want to say pretty because it wasn't pretty, but it's definitely better than if she hadn't been wearing makeup. But it was just, why present that, the rest of this menagerie of flesh to the world? You know, don't you look at yourself in the mirror? Says me. Don't you look at yourself in the mirror? Oh, I'm very, you know, I self-discriminate all the time. And but this was wrong, and to have a little smear down the arse crack with these, and they were like cheesy, mouldy. Think, oh God, Ted Raimi playing Henrietta in Evil Dead 2, with the lumpy sort of mouldy cellulite, which is all like apple cores shoved down the bodysuit that he's wearing playing Henrietta. Come to Auntie Henrietta, you know, and all this, like, and oh my God, apple cores and just There was lumps and bumps everywhere. But well, I'm proud of my body. What does it matter? Well, yeah, I get that. Why should I hide it? Well, because it's fucking unpleasant, for one thing. Enough said. Peeve of the week. People in leggings, particularly grey leggings, that really shouldn't wear them, and then wear them out in public in front of other people. Not good. And it kind of is. This, maybe there's some kind of political agenda to this. That they're they're on the obese list, because I'm sure the government's got one. Because they show up on the fucking radar. They can plot them. No, they're not moving very far. Not moving very fast. It's only moved from the couch to the fridge 3 times in the last month. Oh God, no. I'm going to rot in hell for this. But, what was it going? But why flaunt all of this? Why? It's just sort of political agenda that, right, we're going to stop men from looking at women as sexual objects because of what they can wear whatever they want. So these young women, these good-bodied women, can wear ultra skin-tight things and flaunt all their fleshy bits off. Because we're going to put men off looking at them because they've seen these horrible fat sacks of shite waddling around like a fucking, like a sperm whale in high heels. They don't tend to wear high heels with leggings, though. They wear little flat fucking things. Now, a high heel accentuates all the... I'm a man. I'm a leg man as well. I love the calf, the turn of leg. I used to call it. I used to say to Mrs. KILT-MAN, "Oh, you got a lovely turn of leg there." And like, you put your hand on the knee and you go, "Why am I doing this?" That bee's messed me up something chronic, hasn't it? And you stroke, the calf. And you go, "Well, it doesn't go like that. That's not a calf. That's a canoe." Fucking hell. And lovely turn of leg there. But and then you got the whole thing about cankles. Oh, I'm really, really putting the means on things here, aren't I? Being and I'm no one to talk. But anyway, well, I'm no one to stop talking. That's for certain. But yeah, so they wear little flat shoes, little trainers, plimsolls, that sort of thing. And but the mark of really good body and good legs and good shape is that even on flats, the leg has the curve, not too much, but enough. The turn of leg, you've got the knees aren't knock knees. They're not used to swimming with bow-legged women. They're not like that. They're like just climbed off a fucking horse. But and everything else is in proportion and it's all nice and fine. Oh dear. This has been an interesting magazine, hasn't it? Been on for like an hour and almost 20 minutes here. But that's the peeve. The peeve is just, wear appropriate things. Surely they must look at themselves. Or if you were a friend, you'd just go like, does my bum look big in this? Oh, that old fucking cliche. No one ever fucking says that. No one says, does my bum look big in this? What fella's going to go like, well, yeah, it does actually. They're going to go, oh, yeah, it does. And I like it, yeah. So we're not staying out long. We're going to get back again. Yay. Or they're going, if it's a bum like what I saw, then, yeah. You don't need to be told, does my bum look big in this? Yeah. Person squashed against the wall, against the cheek. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Earworm of the week. Okay, right. Well, I had stuff written down, but I've not transcribed it to this because news came out today that we lost another great composer. He didn't do a lot of movie composing, but he was part of the band, the progressive rock band Curved Air, and he was a founder member of Sky, the band Sky. But Francis Kieran Monkman, has died at the age of 73 of cancer. Now, Francis Monkman did the score for The Long Good Friday. And you know, I've covered that movie a lot on the channel. I cover it every Good Friday, in fact. And I've celebrated Francis Monkman's score for it so many times. So, you've been playing Indiana Jones, which is pretty much, a lot of John Williams stuff is a perfect earworm. And the Raiders March is perfect. But I think in honour of Francis Monkman, we will have to go on to, if I can find it now. Sorry, that went down the wrong way. I think that bee before was trailing a bit of the web it got out of, and I think I've swallowed some of that web. Right, come on. Oh, it's getting really... You know, I shut those curtains. Because it's getting really, really bright, and the temperature's rising as well. The Long Good Friday, of course, 1979, but released 1980. I've covered it a gazillion billion times. You've got Bob fucking Hoskins, who is like a pit bull crossed with a silverback gorilla, as you know, Harold Shand, who runs London at his manor, at his patch. But who's moving in? Who's having a go at me? They're taking out all his people left, right, and centre. It's the IRA. It's Pierce Brosnan, who is 70 today. Pierce Brosnan is 70 today. Hey, see how it all ties in. But Pierce Brosnan made his screen debut in Long Good Friday as an IRA hitman. Cheers, y'all. Now, the entire score for this movie is fantastic. So, but I'm going to put on, here's your earworm. Well, I'm going to play two tracks. I'm going to play this. This is the overture. See, it's progressive rock. So you've got electronics in there, you've got synth in there. And the sort of jazzy fusion taking place. But this is Francis Monkman, who has sadly just died. Rest in peace, Francis. I have adored and applauded this score all my life. Its sense of urgency, of threat. But it's got that, you know, the 70s progressive rock and like sort of jazz fusion punk element. And a big gong as well. But it's a little ensemble who were going at it furiously. You can tell like they're really, you know, getting into it, like. It's propulsive, isn't it? How cool is that? Harold Shand will fight back against the IRA. And he'll do some fucking good stuff, like he'll show him who's boss, but he will lose. That's great. Little bird call. It's gonna be like a piccolo or something, isn't it? It's a piccolo or flute. Okay. Now we got. Well, I'm going to play a few tracks because we're here. You ain't going nowhere, are you? It's very atmospheric, very moody, very... Even on these quieter bits, there's still an element of this burgeoning threat to him. And again, it's all about destiny and that, like Quint. Harold Shand is going down a road that he will not come back from, but he'll try and do his fight back and all that. No, it should be coming up now. This should be Harold Shand's arrival back in London after being in America, trying to make a big deal with the mafia. But listen to the swagger of this. This is... I play this in my ears, strutting. Oh, that's brazen. It's arrogant. The swell. The violins come in and they give it this sort of ethereal sense of, well, fate. But that is, how cool is that? And this sort of scene setting. It's almost like the camera will rise above the Docklands, London. We're okay. The next thing you know, explosions are going off. His trusted mates are getting off left, right and centre. Okay. Is it this? And here's what people often think is the main theme. And this is him in the back of his car at the end. Helen Mirren's been whisked off in another car by the IRA. You kind of hope they're not going to take her out, but they will be. And he's like in the back seat like that. And you've got the swagger there. And he's trying to, he's working on it. Hang on a minute. I thought I killed you guys. What the? And he has to sit there and work it all out. Dot all the I's, cross all the T's. Jeff said, I couldn't take them out. They're bigger than me. They're like ants. And he kills Jeff with a bottle of Bell's. Bell's whiskey can kill you just by smelling the bastard. It's the worst whiskey ever. But Francis Monkman has got this. Even though he's going off to his death and it's going to be a bad death, he's still got that swagger. And his underbite. The Bob Hoskins, Harold Shand underbite. So the earworm was, take your pick from that, but it's in honour of Francis Monkman. Sadly died age of 73, cancer. Okay folks, it's going to start again now, but what the hell. I have been over Shall Be KILT-MAN. Okay, what's yet to happen? A few more cookery episodes. We're going to review Marathon Man. We're going to review, one of the greatest movies of all time is arriving today in 4D, 4K, 4D in 4K. It's Brotherhood of the Wolf, Les Packs de Loup. But we'll talk. People have been waiting for that review and a lot more coverage. It's coming. What's behind me here? Anyone seen the film Turkey Shoot, aka Camp Thatcher? An Aussie exploitation epic with Steve Railsback, Olivia Hussey, and it's great. I've got the full uncut version. That was the original UK cut down version on Betamax. We have here, in a world of compromise, he wouldn't. Death before dishonour. And that is, what's his name? He was Clint Eastwood's stunt double in many movies, and he played Hunter. He was a TV detective. What's his bloody name? Fred Dryer. And he's a US Marine gunnery sergeant in, God, where are they? It'll tell me on the back. They're in Beirut, and his commanding officer gets kidnapped. And he goes on a one-man war with Mossad agents, including the very sexy Joanna Pacula. And it's great. I've not seen it since the 80s because, to my knowledge, it's not. You can't get it on Blu-ray. Maybe you can. I've never looked, to be honest. But I thought I'll throw some nostalgia out here. And then we have here, because I've just covered Vietnam movies, The Last Hunter, and then epically I covered Apocalypse Now. And I thought, oh God, I've got that old, crappy, stupid, really ultra low budget by Lindsay Shonteff, Vietnam Blood Bath, How Sleep the Brave, which is filmed not in Vietnam, no, not in Mexico, not in the Philippines like Last Hunter and Apocalypse Now. Oh, no. It's filmed in Berkshire, England, with a bunch of English actors putting on American accents. But I remember it being gory as all fucking hell. They're going on punji stakes and get their guts are hanging out. They're getting shot through the air. They're running through very, very lovely British countryside, dubbing for Vietnam. It's ultra threadbare budget. But look at this. God, look how old that is. How Sleep the Brave. The original cassette. Important! Please rewind tape. And there's all the rentals that have been out on. Christ. We have Christopher Walken up here as the Hessian from Sleepy Hollow with a bunch of severed heads in his hand. And we have from Doug Stanton, and this is one for Captain Ronnie as well, the book about the USS Indianapolis going down and the real events that took place, which Quint recalls in Jaws, of course. But that's told from people who survived it, and it's harrowing. And Quint talks about the sharks. He doesn't talk about the madness that took over the men who were drinking salt water just because they go mad. They're thirsty, they start drinking salt water, and then they go crazy and they start attacking other people. And a lot of them killed their mates. They'd be knifing them or drowning them, beating them up, just because they've gone crazy. So Quint paints a nightmarish depiction of the sharks, of course. And the sharks were an ever-present, thing. But as it's recounted there, or counted there, is that a lot of it is the other sailors turning on each other. That was the more frightening aspect of it. So the USS Indianapolis, to have survived that, this is why I say Quint has survivor guilt. He'd seen his mates die in the most horrible of circumstances. Gives a whole new dimension to Jaws, doesn't it? It's already got a great bit of gravitas because of that. Just him recounting that tale. But when you think about it, you watch it again, you go, oh my God, yeah. You see another level to Quint, a whole deeper level to his hatred of sharks and his devil-may-care cavalier attitude to hunting them down. And his trust in the orca. It's going to let him down. But anyway, folks, I've been on which I'll be KILT-MAN. Please keep it Kilty, keep it Celtic. Have another swig of one of these if you've got it. And just be yourselves. Behave. And look after bees. I think all manner, there's probably snakes have come in here by now. The amount of stuff that's come in from the undergrowth out there now. Christ, David Attenborough have been knocking at the door with his camera crew. Yeah, David Attenborough, not Richard Attenborough. He was the filmmaker, wasn't he? Folks, I'm going to see you all later. And by the way, thanks for sticking with this. Those of you that did, Because this went all over the show, didn't it? This went fucking everywhere. And I missed something up. I missed that. There's a whole section about AI everywhere. Well, we'll save that for next time, shall we? Yay! Come back again soon.